Good morning, beautiful people. Today we're going to be talking about ugly. So strap on your seatbelts and come along for the bumpy ride of Lori Daybell, Chad Daybell, and Melanie Pawlowski. And we'll also throw in a little Melanie Gibb, and of course our star hitman, which will be Alex Cox. So let me see if I am on live, if I can detect that. So I hope you're all doing well today, recovering from the news of last night. As you all well know by now, I hope that the two charges on Lori Daybell now are charges that say that she has been involved in a crime. And the two counts are conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, and concealment of evidence. And obviously, if it's conspiracy, then she has co-conspirators. So the co-conspirators, as we all might know, is Chad Daybell as well as Alex Cox, possibly, obviously, Melanie Pawlowski, maybe a little touch of Melanie Gibb, and as we all think, Summer Shitlet's been involved in this for a long time. So these prongs, these people prongs, or I should say cult member prongs, are going to get extensive because at some point the officials, in my opinion, all of this on this whole video is my opinion. If I'm voicing something that hasn't been said or has been said but in a different fashion, this is all of my opinion. Never is it fact unless you know it to be fact from an authorized document that says that it's fact, like a court document or an arrest document, an affidavit, anything like that. But as you well know, they have a three-prong effect here. They think that all three, Alex Cox, Chad Daybell, and Lori Daybell, have been involved with concealing evidence of a crime. And it's actually two crimes, because one crime is going to be for the body of JJ, and the other crime is going to be for the body of Tylee. So here we are. Obviously, we're hoping Chad gets arrested today, or he's already arrested, but he gets charged with the same offenses as Lori did yesterday. So that's our hope for today. So I'm hoping that by the end of my video, we might hear something. Of course, as Court TV reporter announced last night, that the authorities don't make a charge without great concern if they can prove, what they're charging. So I'm going to say with confidence that the authorities involved with making this charge upon Lori and the forthcoming charge upon Chad have evidence to back it up. And as soon as they charge someone with these types of crimes, they need to be prepared to have a speedy trial process, which we all know is part of our constitutional rights, that we get to have a speedy trial. So obviously, I don't think they would have charged Lori yesterday if they didn't have all their ducks in a row. So God bless the people over in the Rexburg area that are scrambling every day, all night, all day to put this case together to bring these charges forward. Now, with that said, you know that there was a new search warrant executed yesterday in it's really Salem, Idaho, where Daybell's house is. And with that new search warrant, there was a search of his inside of his house, a search of his shed, and a search of the bigger building, which you can call a barn, whatever that bigger building is called, but a shed and a barn in the house. So from what I understand, there was 5 or 6 police official cars, law enforcement vehicles there yesterday, and they went into the house, and they also went into the area of the shed in the garage/barn. So everyone, can you hear me good? I'm using, I told you I busted the speaker thing that I was using before. I'm hoping that this is an Apple product. I'm hoping that this Apple product is doing the trick for you and that you can hear me clear as a bell. So with that said, we're in hopes. Great. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the show about ugly, because this can't get any uglier. It can't. How can this get any uglier than one thing that I'm going to suppose to you today? People asked, what could they have been looking for? I'm just guessing. Again, it's my opinion. I'm guessing. I don't want to have to say this. If you see my videos, I always put in the little description area that the video is my opinion, unless otherwise documented as fact. So this is my opinion. I bet you $1,000,000 to 1 that they found out what accelerant was used to try to burn Tylee when the jerks that burnt her body, the terrible people that burnt her body, needed to find a way to burn it quicker. So I'll bet you 10 to 1 that they were looking in that house, in the garage, in the shed for an accelerant. Because you know that officials have said, and as I said before, I've talked to an engineer, there is no way you can burn a body that's over 60% water, that size of a body with a bonfire. It would take a few days, and it would take constant making that fire the hottest, the biggest, the largest, using the right woods, using the right combustible material. And we know they didn't have a fire going for 2 to 3 days. And we know that they would have been reported if they had. So it is my opinion, and only my opinion, that they had found, maybe through some autopsy results, possibly, or the surrounding material of Tylee's body, there might have been some evidence that led them to a certain accelerant that they were trying to use to burn Tylee. This is gross. This is, I said it before, egregious is too much of a fancy name for the law people. It is dastardly. Just dastardly what they did to Tylee's body. There is no way that we can even think this in our minds. And every time I go to think about what may have happened to Tylee, I shut down, because it is inhuman for people to be capable of doing such dastardly deeds. So with that said, people, I'm going to share with you that it is my idea that they might have gotten that search warrant either for an accelerant and or something to subdue the 2 children. What could that be? Could it be Did they overload them with Benadryl? Did they give them a prescription sleeping pill that maybe someone had on hand in the Daybell house? Did they feed them antifreeze? Did they put the old trick of putting antifreeze in a drink? Are they looking for something like that may have either subdued or accelerated the Tylee? And of course, subdued JJ. It's all I wish, and I will say this over and over, that's all I wish is that any one of my subscribers, the real beautiful people in this world, would have known what was going on, and we could have staged an abduction of those children. You know what I mean? This is when underground grassroots works. This is when you can't rely on Big Brother. And this is what this is teaching us. There is times in life that Big Brother fails us. And when they fail children, let's use that word that I think's too lofty for us common folk. It's too egregious how they make mistakes. I'll give you just one quick egregious mistake. There was a child care worker. She was actually a interventionist with the Maine State Child Protection Services, and she decided she didn't want to work anymore. That she wanted to stay home and be a at-home mother, homeschool to her children. So what she did is take in a foster child. When she took in the foster child, she didn't like that foster child. The foster child ended up living in her grubby old New England basement. If you've never been in New England of the United States, I'm going to tell you that their basements are dark, dank, gross, usually unheated, unventilated. They're the grossest places that you could ever be put in. So, with that said, guys, the um, authorities gave this child to this ex intervention specialist for children, and she duct taped the mouth of the girl. Her name was Logan Marr, Marr. You can look it up online. Logan Marr. The welfare person, the DHS person who is in charge of protecting children, put her in that dark, dank, disgusting basement, duct taped her to the chair, duct taped her mouth, and she ended up dying because she could not breathe. So if you think Big Brother is going to protect our children, that is just one small element of when the system goes wrong. And the system went wrong for Logan Marr, and it went wrong for Tylee and JJ, as we can see. We can see that Charles Fallow was doing his job in trying to protect the children. And what he did was do everything that he thought Big Brother had in place. Well, again, Big Brother sometimes can just be as formidable as the persons you're trying to run from. So pay attention to that in your outer life. Pay attention to the ugly, because it's all around. We just can't get rid of it. I don't think we're ever going to have a perfect society. So let's not get delusional like Melanie Pawlowski. And with that, do you remember what Melanie Pawlowski did? Do you remember her words? Do you remember that she blamed Charles Fallow for everything that was in complete reverse? Melanie Pawlowski, said that Charles was going to harm someone, that Charles had these bigger plans to create something deadly in front of Lori. Now, just remember that. Please, people, don't have any sympathy for her if she is brought in as one of these so-called co-conspirators, because they charged Lori yesterday as a co-conspirator, but you know many other charges are going to be coming forward. And with that said, we cannot dismiss that Melanie Pawlowski knew from day one what was going on. All her fake chitter chatter about moving up to Rexburg with following her Aunt Lori and never really having communications with Auntie Lori. Well, that is big BS. That BS is further because guess who she said she spent all of her time with? Alex. So let's, for an instance, take that for truth. Let's just play Melanie Pawlowski's game of switch the circumstances, because that's what she does. Lori's in harm of Charles. Not that Charles is in harm's way from Lori. She switches. So let's switch it. Melanie's spending all of her free time with Uncle Alex. Remember Uncle Alex? He gave her the greatest advice, she said. When she got married to Ian, she told the world that Alex was almost like a prophet with marital advice. Even though his marriage didn't last maybe 10, 12 days at best, but he was giving out advice to her how to be in support of Ian. Well, with that said, guys, that means she was around Alex a lot. So you tell me, now think about this, write it in the comments, write something in the comments or in the chat, whatever. What do you think? If Alex Cox was telling Melanie Gibb that Melanie Gibb did not want to know what happened to JJ, what was Alex Cox, the hitman for the cult enterprise, the Daybell Cox cult enterprise, what was Alex Cox telling Melanie Pawlowski, who was an official cult member, as we all can speculate? What was he telling her? So I call BS on that. If he's telling Gibb that you don't want to know what happened to JJ, if he's inferring that it's something very nefarious that happened with JJ, then how in the heck is he not telling the one he spills every bit of news to, every bit of comforting things to, every bit of stay away from this, don't do this? Tell me he didn't tell Melanie Pawlowski. And you tell me that Lori didn't tell Melanie Pawlowski. That 97-minute conversation that Lori Daybell had with her mother on October 1, that's officiated through a telephone bill that Janice showed on 48 hours, that tells it all. Janice Cox, my opinion, Summer Shitlet, my opinion, Melanie Pawlowski, my opinion, all knew where the children were. Don't let them fool you. Don't let the soft demeanor fool you. That soft demeanor, as I have said before, is staged. It is a training that they go through. It is the same look that all of Charlie Manson's girls had when they appeared in the courtrooms. They had that very far off, I call it a 1,000-mile stare. It looks like nobody is home. And guess what? Nobody is home other than how they have been programmed. And they are highly dangerous programmed individuals. So that is my little chat. And I would love to hear from you guys again. I will I want to know if you think that Alex Cox was poisoned with the same or similar poison, considering his new wife Zulema had a propensity to make mixes of poisons and medicines and that kind of stuff. And do you think Melanie Pawlowski's delusional thinking is LDS, or do you think it's LSD? Do you think that they spike those people's drinks, their water? Is that water over in Idaho, Utah, Arizona, spiked by potions that Zulema might make that adds an LSD type element that makes these people nutcases, fruitcakes? And that's what we're going to call them, the nutcases, because that's all they are. They deem themselves as happy people, not. They deem themselves as peaceful people, not. You see what kind of peace they make. They make murder and mayhem. Murder and murder and murder. And they don't even care if it's children. They do not care if they murder children. They set up the good people like Charles Vallow, like Kay Woodcock, like Larry Woodcock. Any person that's got virtuous means to their stories, they downgrade them to be evil. They reverse psychology, gaslight people to think they're the good ones, and they think we believe them. Shout out to the world, people. We do not believe. We will never believe that they are peaceful, kind, and live a happy life. Ian looks miserable, and Ian should be miserable with such a liar that he is married to. And that Summer Shitlet, I've been told that she is no longer married, that they got divorced. I'm hoping her ex, if he's not part of one of these cults, is looking over Summer's children's as well. Because it is my opinion that she is up in that Richter scale of destruction just as much as Lori. Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments. They're such scary people, says Shanann Burgess Whittle. I truly question ones around now. Many questions that wakes up call around here. Yes, and for people that don't know, Shanann Burgess Whittle is from the Rexburg greater area. She lives among Chad's so-called friends, so-called cult members. She has voiced before in the past that it is a scary time for those areas. Now Ian is stuck now that Melanie Pawlowski is pregnant, says Maria Vieira. Yes, he is stuck, but he better put on, I've said it before, fast running shoes. He better either buy him or pick out his fastest running shoes that he has, grab a hold of that baby and put it in a snuggly and run. That's the only option Ian has, to run. He is not going to fix Melanie. She has been this way since her mother oriented her as a child. The father tried to steer her in the right direction, and he lost control because of how powerful the Cox family's inundation of Melanie was. Melanie Gibb left her husband and children also, traveling for interviews with the new boyfriend. I understand that. Melanie Gibb is glib. Melanie Gibb is glib. And we're just going to see what unfolds to see exactly how glib she is, old Ranger. It's going to get real crazy with Melanie P, says Anthony. It already is. It's so delusional. Is it LSD? Or is it this offshoot, this cult of the LDS church? What is it? Are they screwing up the brains through a chemical, using Zalema to make these chemicals that take hold of these people? I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a manufacturer substance, in the shed in the barn / garage at Chad Daybell's property. We don't know. They need to rescue Melanie Pawlowski's baby. She'll think it's a zombie. Yes, as far as I know, they're going to court. Is it tomorrow, July 1? Whenever July 1 is, they're going to court for custody. And I don't think any judge in this country, I don't care where she moves, is going to offer her custody of those children. I think Zalema just got with Alex because Lori and Chad told her to, so she could kill them after everything in their plans were done, tying up the loose end. I believe you. I think the same, Thomas Randall. Hi, everybody, says Multi Sirens. Hi, everybody on chat. Poppy's in Normandy. She knew. That's why her new husband wore a wire and was crapping his pants. Yes. Now he's given us the same crap she gave him. They throw that crap around like it's, not going to affect anybody. But we all know out here. We got Summer Shitlet. We got Janice Cox telling us how bad Charles was. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. How can you do that? You reverse. This is such a psychologically showing of psychopathology. And we don't care what kind of psychopathology. Are they narcissists? Are they psychopaths? Are they whatever you can title? We don't care. But we know it's psychopathology in its rawest forms. We can't find someone so perverted than these people in these so-called Cox Daybell / cult family. We cannot find people that are more perverted. The perversion ends with the killing, the maiming of children. So they went to the end. They were in a race to how deviant they could get. And they made it to the end. They showed us, they proved to us how exactly deviant they could get. I've heard it said that Tylee did not want to go to Rexburg at all, but she said she had to because JJ, of course JJ needed her. How I wish she had taken him and run. Same with me, Akalancy Land. Same with me. I wish all of us, we had our eyes on them. I wish everyone on social media knew about them before it happened and had our eyes. And could have somehow given the advice that Charles was trying to find for them. Charles was trying to find that conduit, that special conduit that would have led himself and the children to safety. He is a real hero. We use that word too much today. I never heard hero when I grew up. It was only for, someone that did something extremely special. Well, Charles is one of those extremely special people. He is a hero because he was trying to do what he had to do to save those children from wickedness. And oh, are we so lucky, everyone, that Brandon didn't get killed? Are we so lucky? Just think of October 2nd, Brandon getting killed, and that Melanie dastardly person was caretaking for them from October 2nd till now, and that we would all know that her children were under her care. I hope social services would have taken them, but as you well know, with the Logan Ma story that I just told you, it's hard to believe that they would do what is right. It is hard to believe they didn't do what was right for Charles. So why would they do anything right when an adult is making the claim? It's not like children make the claims, the adult makes the claim. Yes. Oh, yes, Poppies. True. The weapon that was used to dismember Tylee. If it is true that she was dismembered because a body is too big to burn, that you have to have the mightiest of mighty fires, that they couldn't have gotten away with it, too many people would have been calling law enforcement, then yes, did they dismember her body into smaller pieces and every bonfire throw in a few pieces of Tylee? Very disgusting. Very, very disgusting. Yes, Poppy also says it certainly could have been an accelerant, as they previously stated, egregious concealment of a body. Yeah, part of the egregious concealment is they were trying to burn away everything. That was the egregious concealment until they found out what the egregious ways. Like you said, was it a weapon that they used to cut her up? Was it an accelerant? Was it a medicine that they gave her to put her to sleep? Did they find these in the autopsy? Yes, Matt Man Productions says, so many people would have taken care of JJ and Tylee, but no one, she wanted to kill them instead. Yeah, no, she wanted to. She knew Kay wanted JJ, for instance. Lori and Chad and everyone, Melanie Gibb, everyone knew that Kay would have taken JJ and probably Tylee in a heartbeat just to get them out of the, she had already lost her brother to them. She already knew it was ambushing. She already knew that the story was fake, that it was Charles that was battering Alex Cox, and Alex Cox claimed self-defense. They all knew that was rubbish. So yes, they wanted to get rid of these. They wanted to get rid of all the people that knew about that. Were Tylee and JJ killed not only for the money, but were they killed because they had smidgets of truths or big truths? The whole continuum. Did they know a little bit or did they know a lot? And were they too much of a risk for Chad and Lori? And would they have ruined their happy honeymoon, dancing and playing music on the beach in Hawaii, walking to the beach hand in hand? Those two murderous hands were hand in hand walking to and from the beach. Can you imagine that? The two murderous sets of hands were holding each other, were acting like that the world was, again, they have the same mode of operation. Their mode of operation is to blame the person that is accusing them. The news was accusing them of doing something with the children. So they blamed the news. They blamed, the news, their cat, all this rumor and speculation, as Melanie Pawlowski learned that phrase from her aunt. Auntie Lori, the killer. I believe law enforcement would have searched for the few immediately upon discovering her child remains. I think they're acting on new garnered from one of the players, probably MCC. Probably, you're probably right. If they had killed Brandon, his children would have been in danger. He has been a fantastic father and protector. Of course, he got to know, just like Melanie's father got to know, how crazy the Cox are, how they'll lie, how they'll distort the truth in a heartbeat. That's their slogan. Come to us if you want to learn how to distort the truth and blame the good people for what us evil people do. That's their mode of operation. Brandon and his children's life is safer now with Lori in jail and Alex in hell, says Absy 1210. 100%. The more we get behind the bars, the better off all the people. Their tentacles are reaching far. We're only seeing very small part of what this cult is and how much preparing a nutcase is involved with this. That's their new name, preparing a nutcase. I hate to say it because I know there's probably good people in preparing a people, but there's awful bad people coming out of preparing a nutcase, the derivative of preparing a people. Deborah Adams says Brandon's custody documents are revealing to who those people really are. Yes. And you know what's funny is that custody papers are usually in private. So and anything coming out, I'm surprised because usually when you're in family court for custody, they're 100% private. But God bless that we're getting tidbits that those kids might be protected by our government. The government and the judicial system together might do what they never did for Tylee and JJ, what they never did for Logan Ma up in Maine. She brainwashed the new husband, but he should wake up by now, says Mary Rayner. I don't think that marriage will last long. He isn't going to, I don't think, now you might be right, you might have more faith than me. I think he was one of them, but it just seemed too much of an impact for him at first. And I think he would have already been gone, her pregnant or not. Why would he stick around just because the baby's in her stomach? Because I guess maybe trying to protect it, that she doesn't do self-harm like her mother did. Her mother was always self-harming herself in some way, very suicidal, very, Melanie Pawlowski's mother was always not eating for days. That's self-harm. She was suicidal, and then I can't remember in which way she was trying to kill herself. But so, yes, he might be sticking around for the sake of the baby, that Melanie doesn't do something. Or maybe one of the other cult members gets to her. Who knows? I just don't, I can't fathom all the webs involved in their crimes. Yes, they're as delusional as you can get with the highest potent LSD that they can manufacture in the world. Whoever the chemist was, I remember being a teenager, and I think they said it came from Germany, that some scientist over in Germany made the first LSD or whatever. And that's how they seem to me. They're so delusional. They're the most filled with psychosis. Psychosis is when your reality is not your reality. And that's how they live every day, not in reality. I saw a report that because the cops found the children, they had to charge her with more for the reason she could have walked now. Yeah, from day one, Multi Sirens, I was thinking, why is she being held? Because the kids that were found, but um, they weren't found in good order, obviously. So yeah, they were found, but she had never made an attempt to find them. She had never made. I remember that day when the newspaper or the news reporter said to her in Hawaii, he said, "The whole world's looking for your children." And she made some wise guy comment. That's great. And the way she said it, that's great. Oh, it was so full of herself. She knew her children were dead. How could she say that's great? They're all freaking crazy, believing in dumbbell. Yes, Lauren Cass. Shannon. James was here. Okay. Stacy Cope also took lots of classes in alternative medicines. Yeah, you know, obviously she couldn't eat, so she was against food. So now let's find some kind of herb somewhere or some kind of, yeah, she was bona fide crazy. Bona fide crazy. Yeah, Drowsy Doll. Hello, Drowsy Doll from Arkansas. Welcome everybody. This is very tough stuff to talk about. This is really tough stuff to digest. And I think that's why we're all here. One way or another, we're all saying this can't be true. Pinch yourselves. No, it's ever since this came out. At first, I wouldn't watch the news. I thought it was some made up story. I thought it was some kids' game. At first, I'm like, this isn't true. Zombies. Chad being able to see beyond the veil and on Earth as well. Chad being able to tell his wife that, he's talking to the dead. Chad, he is so gross. Tells his wife that he had a conversation with her grandmother, and the grandmother wanted Tammy to go see her family. Yes, the Cox clan has a lot of deaths and secrets, Grace Truth says. Deborah Adams says, also check Arwen Rees and Noah Jasmine. Good information on the case. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, Deborah, but that's okay. I'm the type, it doesn't bother me. But other creators or YouTube stuff don't like it when you try to stir people to other channels. But Deborah, in this case, I say go everywhere to get your information. Go everywhere. And thank you for that. Thomas Randall says, with the new charges yesterday, doesn't Lori have to go for first appearance today? Does anybody know? Yeah, I don't think today. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten a notice. I'm on some kind of notice list from the jail, and I'm on some kind of notice list with Lori. If anything happens with Lori, Thomas Randall, I'm supposed to get notified. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that I got a notification and I don't know it because I'm here online with you. If anyone finds that out, let us know while we're on live. Great. I was stuck writing. Glad I found this. Oh, good. Great, multi-science, and glad you're here. These doomsday cults giving Christians a bad name. Yeah, yeah, good people go to Christianity or go to religion because they want to have a higher being. They want to find sort of like maybe a home, a place of comfort, a place of learning, a place of goodness. And yes, you're right. These doomsday cults and this cult mom, Lori Daybell, and this cult dad, Chad Daybell, are really giving Christianity a kick in the you know where because people that weren't trusting of religion are getting more untrusting of religion with this case. It's not doing religion any good. And I've said this all along. It doesn't matter what religion you are. They all have black holes that we shouldn't go into. And the normal centered person that has a strong constitution do not go near those black holes. They don't delve in them. And they don't look for what Lori and Melanie Pawlowski and Chad Daybell and all these people are looking for. Just like women look for the ultimate skincare, these people are looking for the ultimate way of never dying, the ultimate way of never having to pay for your sins, the ultimate way of living life on earth and then going somewhere else. They're looking for the ultimate. The ultimate is in reverse. They're the degenerates. The ultimate turns into degenerate people. So when we look for those perfect skincare for women, we might just get more wrinkles. When perfect way to get out of this life, we might just turn into a Chad Daybell and a Lori Daybell and an Alex Cox and a Janice Cox and a Summer Shitlet and a Melanie Pawlowski. Because you can see their skincare routines don't last long. Because it's my opinion, the evil transcends to their outsides of their bodies and they start showing their evil. At some point you can't not show your evil. They start out, God gives them the perfect blank canvas, and then they fill it with garbage. Denise Russell says, as I understand it, they added the charges to her other ones, so the court dates in July still stand. Oh, I get it. That makes sense. I saw on one YouTube channel the satanic rituals that happened both days. JJ and Tylee were murdered. It was creepy. Sad. That's all I can say. The big word sad. Nothing wrong with Christianity. It's the creeps that corrupt it and hide it behind it. Yes, exactly. You guys always say everything I'm trying to say. You condense it for me. Yes, nothing wrong with having religion in your life. It is when the creeps shake it up. And they shake it up and all the garbage comes out. Rachel D says they use religion to shield their evil doings. This doomsday cult is no form of any religion. No, we're calling it prepare a nutcase. It's called preparing a people. We're calling it preparing a nutcase because that's all we've seen that's come out of them so far. Lauren Cass, apparently this cult did because of zombie stuff. The only way to liberate them was murdering them. See how gross, again, how dastardly this is? To use that children were zombies, that you have to kill them to let their spirit free, to let their soul emerge. What an egotistical person that Chad Daybell was, to think that he could have followers that would believe in his garbage. And I blame Lori Daybell. She didn't know him that long. She was already thick and thin. As Adam Cox said about Melanie Pawlowski, that she's just a liar. Adam Cox made sure the world knew when Melanie Pawlowski got on her bandwagon and told the world that Charles was the evil one after Lori, not the other way, that everything that Lori was doing was in protection of the children and of herself. Well, listen, they are all the same. The twists and turns, they are worse than the mafia could ever be. All the mafias, not just the Italian, the Chinese, the Albanian, there's all these inner mafias. They're worse. They are equal to those religions that kill their daughters, though, because again, they can kill children. Multi-Siren says it explains why Mel G went into hiding if there is money involved. Patty Cake says Melanie Pawlowski's father, Steve Cope, said in his custody case that documents against Stacy, Melanie's mother, that Stacy told him that Barry Cox was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Yeah, and schizophrenia, and I already got alerted. I haven't looked at the DSM for more than a decade. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Illnesses. I haven't looked at that, so I don't want to quote anything out of the DSM. But at least if you've got schizophrenia, they can Thorazine you out. How do you Thorazine somebody out when they have these delusions of grandeur that aren't based on schizophrenia? Like the person isn't schizophrenic. So how do you Thorazine someone out? Meaning bring their delusions under control when it isn't, the root cause isn't schizophrenia. Yes, I heard that too also. I heard that about the schizophrenia. Anthony says, in reality, Chad was on a mission to murder 144,000 before the return of... Yeah, see, he reversed it. Good thinking, Anthony. You're getting into the cult thinking. They're saying they're saving 144, but really they're trying to kill 144. But they're making it like they're good, people, good blokes. Yes, having a double life, Mira. Yes, Deborah Aries. Christians need to teach boundaries to young children in congregations. They teach quickly everyone is good. Not true. Very dangerous. Yes, I will say that a lot of the Christian people that I have known, or people that have other gods than our gods, it's not just the Christian God, a lot of bad things can be held in secret in those families. And breaking the silence of secrecy. Does that even make sense? Breaking the silence of secrecy. Yeah. I didn't think of it that way, Anthony. Oh, wow, that's a creepy thought. Yeah, no, that's exactly, Shanann. They take everything and reverse it. Yeah, they changed it. Anthony's probably really right. I mean, it sounds absurd, but you've got to have absurd thinking if you're dealing with this cult. Rachel D says Chad wanted power and dominance. Lori wanted wealth. Alex weirdly wanted Lori. Ooh. I pray the murder, you're so right. I pray the murder charge is delivered on the 22nd when their world ends. Or maybe the 23rd when they're after the 22nd has gone by. I think he is too. Yeah. Mary says, I wonder what Chad's children think, because it seems as he was doing all of this on the side. I don't know. I don't know. Burning a body in your yard? Where were the 5 kids? I'll tell you something. If they haven't gone for help, like we suggested when the bodies were found, then that's going to tell us a lot. If they haven't gone to a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, or any form of interventionist since those bodies were found, they are troubled people. The only people that can get out of this are people that go get help. And if they're refusing help, then and even if they take help, they might be doing it to look good. Lauren Cass, apparently this cult did, because of zombie stuff, the only way to liberate them was murdering them. Can you imagine if all of us were zombies? What a task Alex Cox would have. He'd be a multimillionaire, because before you're zombies, they make sure that there's a money line towards the zombie. They don't kill the zombies unless there's a profit from it. And we can see that with Brandon. We can see that with Charles. They both had a $1 million tag on their head. That's what's creeped me out the most. What's creeped me out the most is the one striving to get help, like Kay Woodcock. Melanie Pawlowski downed her, said she was dangerous, said she was after the children for nefarious reasons. What was Kay going to do to her own grandchild? Why did Lori have to hide her so-called son from Kay Woodcock? Yeah, twisted Melanie. Always twisting words to make the good look evil and the evil look good. Lock them up, says James was here. I'm with you, but we got to go through the process. We got to go through the process. The me for Joseph Ryan saved some tissue from his liver for testing. Hopefully they can get charged for him too. Yeah. I without question was they were in need of money. Anytime that Lori gets in the need of money, then someone goes missing or ends up dead like Joe Ryan. Oh, good night. Good night, ATARS 1210. Yes, you stay safe as well. Yep, they lied and lied. And you tell me Alex wasn't telling Melanie Pawlowski. They were 2 peas in a pod. They were together every day when they moved up to Rexburg. And it is still my only belief they moved there to murder the children. No eyes would be on them. No one really knew the children in Rexburg. They moved up there to murder the children and to murder Tammy Daybell. And so that Lori could be close to Chad. But it was a good murdering ground. They would have Chad's supervision, Chad's obviously land. They needed land to rid themselves of their children's bodies. Yes, multi-science. Melanie Pawlowski is brainwashed, and she is dumb-witted. I have said that before. There is a dumb-witted part of her, and I hope you can hear the T's that I'm saying, because I sometimes have a hard time with T's. So dumb-witted. I learned that Barry and Janice also had a place in Hawaii. I'm sure. Yeah, they always lived a high life, going around town trying to convince people to buy financial products, telling people you're an attorney. He went around, and on his leaflet, it was noted that Barry Cox was an attorney so that people would have more faith in him to buy his product. He was selling financial products, life insurance, whatever it might be. He got highly penalized in court for that. Yes, they all lived close to each other because they chit-chatted. Yeah, that's a good question, Joji. How big is the LDS community in Hawaii? I know that Kauai had a, what do they call them? Not a church. Multi-Siren says the cult is worldwide. So she doesn't, I take it that she doesn't think things are going to settle down. Her family is just disgusting. Greetings from Germany, says Maria L. Hello, Germany. Welcome to Florida. Welcome to sunny Florida. Sounds like the Cox family doesn't even know who they are. They lied so long. Yes, 100%. I'm from Alaska, says Drowsy Doll. Hello, Alaska, Alaska. Beautiful Alaska. Yeah. And then Georgie is in England. It's not huge here, yeah. A lot of great musicians come out of England. Your notoriety. Hello, glad I just caught the live just now. Missed the beginning though. So we were, Melanie Walsh, or Maureen Walsh, sorry. We were talking about how they got charges on Lori Daybell yesterday, and the charges are the same for Chad as well, but they haven't charged him yet. So they're both going to have 2 counts to commit conspiracy, to commit destruction, alteration, and concealment of evidence. And the 2 counts, I would take it, mean the 2 bodies, because they were trying to conceal, destruct, and alter the evidence of JJ and Tylee's bodies. So they also were saying that Alex is in that conspiracy. So he's a co-conspirator, as well as Lori, who's already been charged. And any minute now, we're going to be looking at Chad being charged. We were also talking about Melanie Pawlowski doing what she does best, lying through her teeth, that Charles Vallow and Kay Woodcock and Larry Woodcock were after Lori, trying to harm Lori. It is the same story that Summer Shitlick and Janice Cox came on to the media with and did their extreme brainwashing of us, of the people that were listening. Only a small portion of us started to change our feelings about if JJ and Tylee were alive or not because of their interviews. The rest of us stayed straight on. We knew, just like the police did, when the police went there for a well child check on Thanksgiving weekend there, and the kids weren't around, they knew from that time on that they were looking at probably death of the two children. So the anticipated charges will be any minute. They're hoping that, obviously the law enforcement is hoping that they have all the ducks in the row so that, this can stay within the speedy trial that's in our Constitution here in the United States. We have a right to a speedy trial. They can't just arrest us and then prolong the trial for however long they want. They have a right to a speedy trial. So hopefully law enforcement has, and I'm sure they have, put all their ducks in a row. Don't forget that Charles Vallow had said that Lori was going downhill in his police cam video for 4 to 5 years. That this wasn't anything new, but she had gotten absurdly weird in the last few months. And those last few months were when she had met Chad Daybell. Yes, Ian's not allowed to see his kids unless supervised as due to his wacko new wife. That's true. That's true. And I wouldn't let Melanie near them. Maureen, I wouldn't let Melanie near those kids. Ian's 2 kids. He's got a girl and a boy from his first marriage. The 2 Melanies know much more. Love from Ireland. Hi, Ireland, where the grass is green and you got beautiful golf courses up there. So many caring ones from all around the world here. I live in Idaho, 30 minutes away, says Shannon. I never know how to say her name, but Shannon Burgess Whittle, away from where this has occurred and the children were spared. It's so sad. Yeah, I would feel terrible if it was that close to me. I'm so far away from it. But with that said, guys, I know that terrain up there like the back of my hand. I love the West, so I've traveled out there many times. When I have vacations in my life, it's always been primarily out West. So I know Idaho, I know Utah, which is probably one of my favorite states in the world, and geographically one of the most beautiful country you could ever have. And then of course Arizona, I know New Mexico, all those states. And why I'm saying this, not to go on about myself, I'm saying this because Lori let Tylee, a 16-year-old, drive from Texas by herself to Phoenix, Arizona. So I think it was Houston, Texas area to Phoenix, Arizona. If any of you in chat have ever driven from Texas to Arizona, I have done it many times. It is desert. It is the type of land that you travel all by yourself. There is usually nobody else on those highways until you get to the metropolitan area like of Tucson, and you're going up to Phoenix. But from when you leave Texas and you leave San Antonio area and then you head northwesterly, it is so barren. It is so dangerous for a young girl, because that's where all the drug cartels hang out. And that is where she was only 16. It's not even like she had a Rebel Rose. It wasn't even like she had a decade of driving behind her. She was 16. And she bragged about it in that interview. She says, like, she was saying it like all teens would do. I'm pretty cool. I drove from Texas to Phoenix. I almost died. If that was my daughter and she needed to drive, I would be behind her in my car, driving behind her. We would have walkie talkies if we didn't have cell phones. But as we well know, they had plenty of phones. Yes, that told me right then and there. That's when I knew that Lori was not a mother. I knew that. I said, no mother would let her 16-year-old daughter drive that distance through barren desert by herself. I don't care how many credit cards you gave her. I don't care if she had AAA and had, any other vehicle rescue cards or policies. I don't care. A lot of times you do not even get signals of cell phones in that barren country. Believe me, I know it like I know the back of my hand. It is not a place for a young female or even a male who just has received their driver's license to drive. Yes, Rebel Rose. Of course not. I wouldn't let my son. Yes. She said that she drove from Texas that morning Charles was murdered. Wow. I didn't know that one. I knew she had drove to move out there. Yes, that's what I mean. That is definitely not a mother that has those instincts, like someone just said in the chat. There's no instincts there. There's no maternal being. She might be a goddess, but she's no maternal being. Her maternal being is to slaughter her children. But as I told you yesterday, I no longer count her children as hers. They are no longer Lori Daybell. In my opinion, she has never had any children. She does not deserve the title mother by any chance. No, the title mother is not to be throned upon Lori Daybell. Now, can you imagine that driving? Has anyone drove through that country? Faith Alexis says, yeah, I agree. Why, Faith, would you drive through that country by yourself I know, first of all, Faith, have you driven through that country with someone else? I heard Tylee's mother's friends that she wasn't keen on Charles. This is a friend that spent summer holes with Tylee in Hawaii. Oh, I don't know what that means, Maureen. Lori went to Texas too, according to Melanie Gibb. Yep. Oh, yeah, she went to Texas to put the financial situation in order. She didn't go because she was loving on Charles. She went to put her financial situation in order. Julie Krenicki says, you do a great job. You are absolutely correct. Young girl, new driver, bad move on a non-mom. She's a non-mom. I would always accompany my daughter from Pocatello to Salt Lake, but Malacca wise to ask. Yeah, see, Pocatello to Salt Lake. What beautiful country. I mean, from the eyes of a teenager, beautiful. From the anxiety of a teenager, I took it when Tylee bragged about that. That was one of those brags that teenagers brag about, but they really don't mean it. She was scared, and rightfully so. It is bad. It's drug cartel country. People come across the border there. They're hitching rides. They're attacking people. If you stop at a gas station, you could be in trouble. The hotels in those areas, once you go through like the Deming, New Mexico area, in that area, they'll rip you off. You'll stay for a night. and then you'll get your bill and it'll say that you stayed for 5 nights. Yeah, so they're all into grabbing you, just like Lori Daybell. Yeah, exactly, Doran. She must have drove up with the bat, right? Yeah, that's a good point. Lori probably gave her the bat, said, use it on your drive up, and then that's what we'll say is the catalyst for Charles being dead. Yeah. Yeah, I knew of a girl that drove to the west, but she was going to grad school, so she was older, of course, and she was bringing one of those little U-Haul trailers with her, and uh, she put on her brakes too fast, and obviously the trailer flipped over and they died, or she died. Good, Lisa. I'm glad she decided not to. And always find a friend to come. It's worth it to pay the airline ticket back, even in COVID-19, if you wear an N95. It's always better to bring a friend with you. And of course, if you're a girl, it would be great if it was a male friend, but even a girlfriend, and then pay for her trip back, you know. Oh, have a great time with your grandkids. And stay safe up there. We're all thinking of you, Sheila. Talia was on the scene with her mother that day that Charles was killed. When she was standing with the police department, how could she drive from Texas? That's what I didn't understand. I thought she had been there. I thought Charles, no, the way I knew it, Charles had just flown in that morning from Texas and rented a car. And that is the same car that Lori took to take JJ to school right after the murder. Mary, he was right before he went to Charles. Oh, so Thomas says JJ was right before he went to Chad's house. Too much traffic and neighbors to do it at Chad's, unless he did it in the shed. Yes. Yes, Thomas, I agree. Oh, maybe they were also searching for the scissors that cut the duct tape, as it may have left adhesive residue. Isn't that Poppy? You're right on it this morning. Poppy's enormity is giving us all these reasons that seem very plausible of why the police were there looking in the shed and the barn out back, and they were looking in the house as well. Yes, yes, I believe Lori helped wrap JJ Drowsy Doll. Yes, I believe Lori was the one that helped wrap JJ. I don't know why I believe that. Lori believed in multiple lives, so she probably saw Tylee as an old soul and not a child, and not her child at all, ultimately, but a zombie. Yes, you're 100% right. Yeah, she treated and handsomely, Tylee did take on that role. She did. Tylee was parentified by Lori, and Tylee dutifully took on that role to help her mother and to obviously help JJ. Um, Doreen Del Monte says, I'm quite sure they found those burner phones the other day when they were doing the search of the property again. And that's why they were able to slap those charges onto Lori. Ooh, I like that one. Yes, yes. What could they have found? What burner phones? Something maybe from Lori's storage room that she had filled with different things. It was a hideout, not a residence. And after he killed the kids, it was vacated and he moved. Yes, you're 100%, Thomas Randall. Yes. Who knows what he was doing in that town? Who knows what other things he did? We know he had help. He helped with the murder of JJ, Tylee, and Tammy. That's a fact. Even though it's my opinion, it's going to be a fact. But what else was he doing in that town? And why did he need a hideout? That's right, but you can hear Tylee saying that she's just driven from Texas. Think Lori made her lie as they stole Charles' car from the airport. Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Maureen. I love your channel. You may have the wisdom to tell the truth. Maybe not, but sometimes, maybe not be that we sometimes mess. Just Julie. Tylee was like mom to JJ. Tylee adored. Yes. Yes. Oh, Lori was never a mom. That's what I will say. Lori was never a mom. That's why she belongs in the non-mom category now. We have a list going on. Casey Anthony, um, what's her name? Letitia, the non-moms. We can make that list long. What about the Maverick store? Alex went to that evening for a half an hour. What do you think he bought from the store? What is a Maverick store, Maureen Walsh? What type of store is it? If Chad stashed anything at his daughter's and she moved in it, then fair game in a search warrant. Yes, Kelly Fitzgerald. It's a gas station. So it's one of those gas stations that have like a mini mart in them, like a tiny. So could he have been buying gas? Was that the accelerant? Could he have bought, they sell in those places oils, they sell antifreeze, they sell alcohol. Alcohol burns. Yeah, so it's a convenience store. Yes, yes. Lori's interaction at the police station showed Tylee was the mature woman. Yes, James was here. She was the only mature person in the police didn't act mature. Lori, the non-mom, didn't act mature. Melanie, the way out woman, didn't act mature. Melanie made an inference. I don't know if you guys caught it. In that police cam, she made an inference. She was so scared. Maybe Charles would have done something to her. She wished she never went. What a crazy. What a crazy. She played along to help Lori with her crazy story. And then Alex going off for tacos later. Yes, human animal. Yes, tacos. And it's crazy. How did he really eat after he disposed of, after he might have killed those children with Chad, with Lori, and then go out to eat? Is he that barbaric? And I think we all know the answer to that. When they reported that Chad told his parents that Lori didn't have any children, that sent up a red flag for me right then. Yes, Rebel Rose. I remember that. He, yes. This is what the police were hanging all their hats on. They knew they knew this information. No one says that if the children are still alive. There's things you would never say if your children were still alive, and that was one of them, Rebel Rose. Yeah, I heard her saying that because I had to listen over and over. And what I had to do, Maureen Walsh, was listen, like, because they were all talking over each other. So I would have to listen to just one person. And it took all the might of my only somewhat working ear to listen. And I'd have to replay it and replay it and replay it until I heard what Melanie Gibb was saying, and she alluded to the fact that yes, she might have been in trouble. Why did she go to Charles's? Oh my word! She made it that she played an act for Lori. It was again terrible. It was Melanie Gibb playing along with Lori to make Charles look bad. This is what I am saying. All along, she has played the same game Lori was playing until she knew that she would get into trouble. Yes, Melanie G knew the plan, says Lisa. Cutting body up is a lot of work, says Thomas Randall. He was hungry, but according to a psychic, he got queasy when he did it. And Lori was yelling at him to hurry up. I like that. Depraved indifference. That's exactly what we're talking about. Depraved, indifferent people that cannibals almost. Cannibals. I mean, killing your own is as close to cannibalism as you can get. Killing anyone, but killing your own. Yeah, I saw that video where Alex is a stand-up comedian. Yeah, he's a comedian. Janice and Summer went on that bandwagon. Oh, he's just a joking, a funny guy. He's our loving brother and he's our loving son. Yes, he's so kind and so considerate. What about the Maverick store? Alex went into that evening for a half an hour. What what would he be doing in the store, Maureen? I guess I didn't catch that. A half an hour? He was in the store. He was really looking for something. I wonder if it has one of those counters in it where you can sit down and eat a slice of pizza or something. I mean, I don't know what he'd be doing for a half an hour in a mini mart. Yes, Multi Siren says forensic science says it's hard to burn a body completely, so they just stuck JJ in the ground. Yeah, yeah, it is. It again with over 60% water. Trying to just think of it. I know this is gross, but try to think of a log that has 60% water in it. And you try to burn it. It doesn't burn. It always goes out. Yes, Drowsy Doll. I hope Alex is enjoying hell as well. And that's to his whole family. I hope Summer enjoys hell when she gets there for for sending Alex over to kill Charles, as she admitted to on that 48 hours special. I hope she enjoys herself in hell. I hope Janice Cox enjoys herself, as well as Barry, for mistreating everybody, for lying, for making up preposterous statements, preposterous facts, for Janice Cox saying that she talked to JJ on October 1 when all of the evidence then and now, after the bodies have been recovered, purely showed that JJ was not with us. Oh, is that what they did? James was here. The cover stories was they were burning animal carcasses. Where'd you hear that, James? Neither have I. What is an echo interview? I don't know what an echo interview is. They were searching the property for the dissection tool, which is probably well hidden or buried on the property, as well as those phones. What do you mean Lori went to school with Chad? Oh, his school? I mean, grubby, greedy, selfish, self-serving C words. I like C words. I'm sure they blame the smell on the raccoon. Human Animal says there's a lot out there, dangerous dingbats out there. They are all about themselves. And are you crabby? Is that what you're saying? Well, they're crabby. He said burning limb debris. Yeah. So she's known him a long time, Rebel. Wow, I didn't know that. Hello, Desert Skies from Arizona. And Human Animal, aren't you from Australia or somewhere out there? I think we were looking for the tool in the shed to match the two marks on the bones. Good deduction, Thomas Randall. Burning limb debris and shot a raccoon. Burning limbs. They never shot a raccoon. That was all a story. Discussing how Lori took Tylee away from JJ, took him out of school from his friends, took his dog, and had the cheek to say he had become a zombie. Yes, Rachel D. How could she? The only way she could is if she's a non-mom. You know, the ones that always look like they're doing things the right way, and we always have this little twinge of guilt in us going, oh, how come I can't be the best mom like that? Well, I have found out in my old age, when they have the look, watch out. And I really remember when I was green on the job and the sheriff was laughing at me for getting sick, and they told me that was normal. Of course, Doreen Del Monte. Oh, Tammy Douglas Daybell went to school with Chad. Yeah, I did hear that in the Salt Lake City metropolitan area somewhere. JJ's school teacher in Rexford said JJ found out truth about Child's death on the internet. Oh my word. He threw a fit saying my dad's not dead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thomas says, I used to watch a lot of CSI and I was taking online courses in criminal justice to be a CSI. Yeah, I've taken a few criminal justice courses way back when I was in the degree program, but then I went into behavioral science. I changed over from a degree in criminal justice to a degree in behavioral science. No, that was my phone saying crappy. Oh, yes, Brisbane. I think forensics said what sort of instrument to look for. Oh, agree, Thomas. So they're looking for an instrument that severed the body of Tylee. Prayers out to you, Tylee. Prayers to you. Drowsy doll. At his school, heart-wrenching. Poor sweet JJ. So Lori lied to JJ about where Charles was. I wonder what she told him about Ty. I know. Probably that she was at the university, like she was telling everyone else, Lisa. He, human animal. Lori wouldn't fit in with the tall poppy order out there in Australia, would she? What would the Australians do something with the egomaniac features of Lori using the tall poppy order? Yes, yes, lying is a form of torture, Monique Dawn. You're right. So sad I could cry again. I know. Yes, Lori told JJ that Charles committed suicide. Oh, I can't. Just the evil exudes out of every part of them. They can't stop the evil. It just flows out of them. It festers out of them. Lori is trying to die in prison. She will be purging, regurgitating food, and over-exercising. Mrs. Texas Bikini knows how to keep moving. She wants her planet. This one sucks for her. Yeah, you're 100% right. But isn't the tall poppy order human animal when you get big in Australia, people try to push you back down because it's like humble pie, the tall poppy order. It's so Lori would have been put down in her place if she had been in Australia because she thought she was above us all, that she was deemed one of the 144,000. She was also deemed the people to collect the 144,000 to make that um, group that would live beyond the second coming of Jesus. So I think the Australians with that tall poppy order would have put Lori maybe in her place, maybe not. And I have a feeling she rode back with Alex, not with Lori. I hope the Maverick have CCTV might find out what Alex was doing at the time of night. Yeah, you never know. The police are disappointed that more neighbors aren't speaking up. In a trial, their bodies badly. Yes, I'm sure, James. I'm sure there's mum's the word up in the greater Rexburg area. The only one that spoke up was his brother, and his brother said he had deviant thoughts for a long time. His brother had ostracized him. Um, Matt Daybell had ostracized Chad years and years ago for his thinking and for his teachings and for the way he wrote books. Lori stated JJ was drug child. She was caring for reprehensible, lying to a babysitter, Charles died of a heart attack. Yeah, she said that too. Yeah, and she wouldn't tell the boys. Can you imagine being the sons of Charles and not getting any information on how your father just died? And she sends it the message that he's dead by a text. And then when they ask her further questions, she doesn't reply. She just doesn't respond to them, like they're not worthy enough to know anything about their father's death. Yes, she's a sick woman. Donna said it was Alex and Lori that killed her and cut her up. They beat her to death with either a bat or a pipe. Gross. It's another form of child abuse. Sometimes words hurt worse. Yes, I think so, Drowsy Doll. Bruises heal, harsh, hateful names, and how, yes. And looks. Evil people give looks that say many more words than words do themselves. I can imagine the looks Lori gave Tylee and JJ. What did they say that Joseph Ryan died from? Heart attack, Rebel Rose. Was that Nicholas or Zachary she texted? Nick or Zachary? It was, oh, I'm not sure which one. I forget. I read it, Lisa, but I forget which one. Could have been Zach. Who's the younger one? It could have been whoever I think the younger one, because the mother got on a video and she was crying for her son. She was crying that her son had found out in such a horrendous way that she wishes Lori had called her, the mother of the two boys, and that she could have relayed the message of Charles's death to his son, not Lori. The way that Lori did it was so mean. The reason why we couldn't hear Mel Gibbs prof in that first interview is because they edited her out. Then a new one was released so you could hear everything Mel Gibbs was saying. Isn't that funny, huh? So they're just dishing it out little to little. Doreen Del Monte says, I have a feeling that Dilemma is part of the murder scene here, especially when it has to do with Alex Potts. And he got his just due, his own sister, I think. And his new wife poisoned him. Oh, I think so too. So anyways, we started this out. Who knows if, since I've been online, if Charles has had the honorary charge against him of conspiracy to commit and destruct and alter and concealment of evidence. I wonder if that charge has been put forward on Chad. And I wonder if Lori has had enough time to absorb where she's going. Because I want her to sit with all of her so-called heavenly powers and know that heaven she is never going to reach. I said it before and I say it again, that Summer Shitlet and Janice Cox made Kay Woodcock look like the bad person, and all of us, along with Melanie Pawlowski, they all got on the same bandwagon. It was all rehearsed. And on national media, they damned Kay and Larry. Melanie and Ian did it as well. They are now in the same position to say how terrible their relatives are. Summer and Janice can shoot it out to the world how terrible their relatives are, but they're not doing it because they can't say it with Charles or Lori anymore. They can't do it, so they can't yell out to the world how terrible Alex and Chad and Lori and Melanie. So with that said, guys, I'm going to close for today. I'm glad we had this chat. I always learn a lot from you guys, and I'm glad that we have this forum to keep ourselves strong, because I don't think that society is going to stand for this. I think we're going to keep on, going forward and making sure that laws and, all this stuff are closed up so that people don't get the rights like Lori had with the police. And someone told me the FBI is doing some retraining of police. They treated her so unjustly. She should have been treated like a mobster. They treated Chad so unjustly. He should have been treated as a saint. So with that said, guys, as usual, please, thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Yes, it's torture for everyone. The children were tortured. We're getting tortured in our souls, in our psyches. But we got to keep knowing that there is ugly. Even though we don't want ugly near us, there is ugly, and we got to watch out for it. So with that said, guys, have a beautiful day.
We don't need just our control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. We don't need no cult religion. We don't need just our control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. We don't need no cult religion. We don't need just our control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. We don't need no cult religion. We don't need just our control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another